Have Maria Caulfield standing by.
Let's find out from Maria Caulfield, and it's medical school places we're going to talk about, Maria, today. But where do you stand on the idea that a candidate can or can't be selected because of their religion, and in this case, being a Christian?
Well, I think it's important for all political parties that their candidates represent kind of the wide breadth of the population of the United Kingdom, and Christians are a significant proportion. This is a Christian country. I'm a Christian MP myself, but the Lib Dems do unfortunately have a track record of this. When Tim Farron was their leader, he got a particularly hard time for his faith. So it is of concern. In the Equality Act, actually, religion is a protected characteristic, and that does include Christians. So I don't know the details of this particular case in depth, but it's important that people of all faiths and none feel confident coming forward to stand for elections.
350 extra medical school places. How are you paying for those? How are they coming about, Maria?
Well, we've already costed this. This is part of our long-term workforce plan, which we announced last year. We want to double the number of medical school places by 7,500. So this is the first step towards this. We are increasing the number of doctors. We had 7,000 new extra doctors in the last 12 months and 21,000 new nurses. But increasing medical school places and making it as easy as possible for people who want to become doctors to be able to do so is part of our kind of long-term workforce plan to get more capacity into the NHS.
Sure, Australia and Canada are absolutely delighted about your plans, where we have the best medical training anywhere in the world, and then we export our best and brightest to those countries. When is the government going to change the rules so that our highly capable and well-trained doctors actually have to serve a minimum term here in the UK?
Well, we know from our statistics about 93% of those who train in the NHS stay in the NHS, which is good news. And we also welcome doctors from overseas to work in the NHS as well. But it is part of the long-term workforce plan, both for doctors and for dentists, that they would be expected to work a minimum a period within the NHS after doing their training. So we have taken that on board. But what we want to do is improve the conditions as well for those doctors who are qualified. And the Secretary of State for Health only last week announced some measures to improve that around rotoring, so that they get their rosters a good amount of time in advance rather than just at the start of the month, that they are given protected time for training and development, that their work environment is better for them. So it's a combination of factors, but also having more medical staff on those wards helps retention too. If you're constantly in a cycle of being short of staff, that doesn't help retention. So a combination of factors will hopefully mean that both doctors, nurses, midwives, physios are feeling the benefit of the first ever workforce plan for the NHS, so that over the next few years we've got a sustainable pool of people coming through and delivering healthcare for our patients.
We've got a keynote speech from your boss today trying to persuade us that Britain is safer under the Tories. But he's really struggling to cut through, isn't he, Rishi Sunak? I mean, you've got hardliners within your own party, like Natalie Elphicke, showing lots of Conservative voters up and down the country how easy it is to switch to Labour.
Well, we are the only party promising to increase defence funding by 2.5%. The Labour Party haven't committed to that at all. But also the Prime Minister is going to set out the kind of wider threat to the country from countries like Russia and China, and AI, in fact, which was not on the horizon a few years ago. So we'll have to wait for his speech to see the details of what he's going to say. But we are the only party committing to increasing defence spending because we recognise the serious threats that we are facing.
You dodged my question about Natalie Elphicke there, the likes of which demonstrates somebody on the right of the party being able to switch to Labour goes to show the level of disillusionment within the Conservatives, and that can only be echoed amongst the public as well, who traditionally vote Conservative. You look at the local election results.
Well, if you look at the local election results, we did actually fairly well in things like police crime commissioners. We won 19 out of the 33. But specifically to Natalie Elphicke, Natalie's not standing again. And I think we all acknowledge there are ulterior motives for that switch to Labour. It's not necessarily because of disillusionment within the Conservative Party. She's got an agenda of her own, which is very disappointing. And I think the public have seen very clearly through that. And I think actually the Labour Party have suffered as a result of these political gains. The public public do not want these political games. They want a government that's getting on and delivering for the people. That's what the Prime Minister's doing, and that's what he's going to be setting out later today, specifically in relation to defence, which Labour have no plan at all on.
Though Labour say there are going to be more defections. You don't agree?
Well, I'm not worried about defections. I'm worried about getting on and delivering for the country. I've just announcing today that we're releasing more medical places to train more doctors. We're increasing the number of midwives. We've got 21,000 extra nurses this year. The PM's going to be setting out what we're doing in defence, in support of the defence of the nation and the threats we're facing. The economy's turning a corner. We've got bigger growth than countries like Germany, France and Spain. You know, the country is turning a corner now. If Labour just want to play games around defections of Tory MPs, that's up to them. We're getting on and delivering for the British people.
OK.
OK, Maria Caulfield, thank you very much indeed.